knowing that you said that you are 147 pounder and got ranked at that, sanctioning body as well at that weight.
Look, they will want to see.
And it looks like that's the direction that, Keyshawn's going.
Let me look, once again, because he's saying they're telling us that we're not worth this. Tell me, which fight do y'all would y'all like to see more? Liam Perro versus because you just said that's a fight that they would criticize us for. But which fight would y'all think is more entertaining, and will you would actually the people would actually want to see more? Liam Pearl versus Devin Haney, or Keyshawn Davis versus Frank Martin?
Y'all could put it in the comments and shit like that. My opinion on it, I think Liam Paro and Devin Haney's more, just because Liam Paro has proven himself, especially as of lately as well. Being a two-time champion, beating the boogeyman at 140 pounds, Subriel Matias for the IBF title, and now beating Lewis Crocker in another weight division. Yeah, definitely that,
I
because
think
if
you're
you
being
look at it,
disingenuous with that, right? I think you're
Frank
being
Martin
disingenuous, bro.
just
My goodness, ladies and gentlemen. Keyshawn Davis's coach, Coach Dorset, has done it again. This dude continues to go on his absolute delusional run with putting the blame on Devin Haney. And now putting the blame on other stipulations rather than being a stand-up man and telling the truth, or at least just shutting the hell up. He's been Keyshawn Davis's warrior. He's been the man that Keyshawn Davis has sent to fight his battle for him as we currently speak. And all Coach Dorset has been doing is making himself look more delusional than we ever thought of him. I don't even know, ladies and gentlemen, how this man could be the head coach of Keyshawn Davis. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all just heard the man on MILLCITY. Shout out to MILLCITY. Make sure you guys subscribe to their channel. Always giving some great interviews. All video credit goes to MILLCITY Boxing. He continues to bring Coach Dorset on. And I'm going to be real with you. Most of the time, MILLCITY, the dude's kind of arguing a little bit in a good manner with Coach Dorset, kind of going against what he has to say. But the man continues to bring him on. Y'all know why? Because, bruh, it's great content. This dude makes himself look absolutely delusional. He makes himself look absolutely dumb. So you continue to bring him on because you know you finna get some content that is gonna get some views, and it's gonna just all you gotta do is let this man talk, bro. All you gotta do is let him talk. And it just always gets a reaction because it's absolutely ridiculous. Coach Dorset trying to say, what fight would you rather see? Keyshawn Davis versus Frank Martin, or a unification bout in the 147-pound division between Devin the Dream Haney, who currently holds the WBO bout, and Liam Paro, who holds the IBF bout. Two-division world champion, former IBF junior welterweight champion, and reigning IBF welterweight champion. Went to Puerto Rico, beat Subriel Matias in his hometown. Ladies and gentlemen. Yes, lost to Hitchens, the fight right after. But come on, bro. Hitchens is looking absolutely fantastic right now. The dude is on another level. He's been showing that. It's going to be a matter of time. The more higher level opponents that he gets, people are going to have to start respecting Hitchens. Liam Paro versus Devin Haney, allowing Devin Haney to get one more title in the welterweight division, is a must-see fight. It's an exciting fight, ladies and gentlemen. Keyshawn Davis versus, and whether or not you agree with that, even if you don't think that fight is a worthy fight to you or an exciting fight to you, because everybody has different preferences in boxing. Keyshawn Davis, who, ladies and gentlemen, is ranked in 147 pounds, talks about not liking the weight cut part of boxing. I'm going up to 147. Keyshawn Davis looking to fight the likes of Frank Martin. This dude is trying to argue, Coach Dorset is trying to argue Keyshawn Davis versus Frank Martin, who fights at 140 pounds. Keyshawn Davis. Frank Martin, who ain't a world champion, who ain't ever been a full world champion. You ain't even talking about fighting any of the 140-pound champions. You ain't even Coach Dorset ain't even bringing up their names. But you're trying to say Frank Martin, who just had a freaking draw with Nahir Albright? A draw with Nahir Albright. When Keyshawn Davis makes Nahir Albright look like a joke. Keyshawn Davis, who's trying to fight at 147, ranked at the 147-pound division, and his team don't want to challenge any of the world champions at 140. But you talking about Frank Martin, a guy who's never became a world champion, who got knocked out by Gervonta Tank Davis. Hey, a lot of people get knocked out by him, but had a draw with Nahir Albright. Y'all is excited for that? Bruh, Keyshawn Davis is going to beat Frank Martin. He's going to beat him. Y'all is excited about that? I understand Devin Haney's going to beat Liam Paro. But if it's a unification fight, no matter what, if you don't like Devin Haney's style, then you're just going to hate on this video. You're just going to hate on Devin Haney. No matter what. That's just the absolute truth. But Keyshawn Davis versus Frank Martin, ladies and gentlemen, it kind of just seems like a stall in Keyshawn Davis's career. You go from having a rematch with Nahir Albright that nobody wanted to see to go in a fight the guy who had a draw with him right after at 140, bruh. We don't even want to see you fight at 140 pounds unless you think about becoming a world champion, bro. What you even doing? What is Coach Dorset even arguing? You could have used somebody else. Yeah, those are the options that y'all's looking at. You guys have somebody like Brian Norman Jr., who at least was a 147-pound champion. I would respect Keyshawn Davis more if he decided to pick a fight with Brian Norman Jr., but Brian Norman Jr. is out here exposing y'all that you guys don't even want to take that fight. Bruh, you can't make this up with Coach Dorset. The man just absolutely hates on Devin Haney. He really does, bro. He really, really does. Devin Haney versus Liam Paro, unification bout, is grabbing traction around the world, more traction than a Keyshawn Davis versus Frank Martin fight, and that's for a fact, ladies and gentlemen. I've got people around me, my pops, my step-pops, these guys, they know who Devin the Dream Haney is. They have yet to know who Keyshawn Davis is, ladies and gentlemen. And if people are starting to figure out about Keyshawn Davis because he blew up because he ducked Devin Haney, bruh. And now, I got another clip to show you guys of Coach Dorset. Just look it, man. If you got something to say, if you got some news to spill, if you feel like you know something that's going down behind the scenes, say it. As of right now, Coach Dorset seems to be putting the blame on something else now. He ain't even putting the blame on Devin Haney towards the end of this statement. Started off by saying it's Devin Haney's fault, but then at the end of this statement, this man tries to blame it on stipulations that is going down behind the scenes. saying Bill Haney wants to talk about the money. He wants to talk about the money and build up this narrative. But y'all don't know what happens if we take this fight, if we take the money, if this happens, if this happens. Ladies and gentlemen, check this out, and then I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on it.
See, this is what people see. It's always easy to criticize something that's not an option. Y'all saying that, oh, he should have did this, he should have did that, he should have taken the $3 million. Okay, just tell me, when's the last time you turned down $3 million? Everybody that's saying that he should have took it, tell me when because like I said, it's always easy to criticize something that's not an option. Most of these people that's giving business advice about whether or not you should have taken or left $3 million behind, when have you been offered $3 million? Now, aside, not every, obviously everybody is not going to be offered $3 million and have the option to turn it down and take it. But they're also saying this without knowing any of the stipulations that come along with this $3 million.
Yeah.
They don't know anything that, okay, if you take this fight, this has to happen. If you take this fight, this has to happen. If you take that $3 million, this has to happen. He's not talking about what comes along with it. All he's saying is he turned down $3 million. I was going to offer him another $1 million. He didn't say, wait a minute. All right, now that you take this fight, win, lose or draw, you got to do this. Matter of fact, even if you win, that means you got to do this. All he's talking about is the numbers. So the people are being naive enough to say, wait a minute, even though I put up on my page, I did on the live with you. I said, look, Bill is already trying to paint the narrative. He's already trying to paint the narrative that if the fight fall through, that we are at blame for it.
Bro, you heard the man, right? Let me answer back to this man. Let me answer back to him. Coach Dorset says all these guys were acting like businessmen all of a sudden, all these content creators that are acting like businessmen all of a sudden. Tell me, when was the last time you were offered $3 million? When was the last time you were offered this $3 million and was in this situation? Ladies and gentlemen, it ain't just boxing content creators. It ain't just hardcore boxing fans that is out here saying this. You've got old school legends, world champion old school legends that have absolutely went off on Keyshawn Davis. You've got people explaining, bruh, I took this amount of pay to get this opportunity. I had to throw the poker chips on the table, and then it paid out after. Most world champions in the old school days weren't offered $3 million. Some of these guys, A to B side, were getting crumbs. Yet they still took the fight because there was an opportunity on the table. So maybe I wasn't offered $3 million. But hell, I know a lot of old school legends that is in the same position that you was in, but took it because they tried to be great. Coach Dorset, don't try to act like there ain't no OGs, there ain't no coaches, there ain't no people out there speaking. It's just the content creators. Don't be naive yourself. Don't be dumb yourself. Coach Dorset brings up that the fans are being naive because all we see is the numbers. We don't see anything that's going down behind the scenes. I spoke about in a couple of videos that I dropped before, speaking about Timothy Bradley's prediction on what happened with this, bringing up Zuffa boxing. And I went the opposite route of Timothy Bradley's, the same exact thought process, but I brought up the championship extension clause. So if there's something behind the scenes, we're not being naive. What we're seeing is that you guys are ducking. You have yet to show proof, show any type of evidence that there was an extension clause involved. Maybe that's why you guys aren't taking this fight. Some type of other reason. Y'all have not did that yet. So how do we know what you're saying is even true, Coach Dorset? If I was you, I would spill the news. Unless you're just talking out your goddamn ass. Coach Dorset has done nothing but try to cast the blame away from themselves. If you've got some type of proof, some type of evidence, put it on the table. Because y'all is looking absolutely delusional right now. Why hasn't he put it on the table yet? It's maybe because there's nothing there. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Dorset is one hell of a delusional guy, man. This guy, he honestly believes that Keyshawn Davis did not duck Devin Debo Haney. And this is what I'm going to tell you. Even if there was an extension clause involved, even if Zuffa Boxing told y'all to pull out of that fight because it's too risky. Ladies and gentlemen, even if you didn't want to take that fight for that money because you feel like as Zuffa, they're going to overpay you. And as Zuffa, maybe you'll be able to lock in that fight or a different fight for even more pay. But at the end of the day, you're still ducking an opportunity, a shot that was on the table, rematch, extension clause or nothing. You're still ducking this fight, and you're ducking your own promotional company. You're a sellout. And you want to be overpaid. A lot of people was talking shit on Zuffa, saying that they overpaying everybody, bro. Keyshawn Davis fans, I bet y'all was saying that. A lot of y'all are saying that Shakur Stevenson's getting overpaid. A lot of you Eddie Hearn butt buddies was agreeing with Eddie Hearn when they were saying that Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson can't sell and that they would never pay him what Zuffa would pay him. Yeah, now y'all feel that these fighters are worth that. Now y'all feel that. Oh, it's cool. Yeah, Keyshawn, go to Zuffa Boxing. Hell yeah, man, get your money. Get the money that you're actually worth. Yeah, the other day y'all saying that everybody's getting paid overpaid over there. Keyshawn is a sellout. He wants to be overpaid. Ladies and gentlemen, all that is tied in to the word ducking, ladies and gentlemen. I want y'all to let me know in the comments what you guys think of this. Coach Dorset, once again, this dude he don't stop. And I don't think he's gonna stop. I think I've caught on to Coach Dorset. I think he likes the reactions. I think this man truly likes the reactions. Because at this point, you gotta imagine that the dude's trolling, right? You can't be this delusional. Unless he actually is, bro. And that's why I say, I don't even know how this dude, I don't know why Keyshawn Davis left Bomac to go with Coach Dorset, man. Bomac would have never been in this situation. He would have never made himself look this dumb. And that's a goddamn fact. I want y'all to let me know in the comments what you guys think of this. I'm out.